Superman is out today, and I went to see it, so here are my full thoughts on this movie. When it comes to DC's movies this past decade, with a few exceptions, I'd say they haven't exactly had the best track record. So when James Gunn came in and laid out a plan for another attempt at a DC universe, I was hopeful, but I wasn't exactly holding my breath. And while I do think there's some major flaws holding this one back, this still ended up being a solid start to this new slate of DCU films. Superman takes place in a world where most of the world's heroes have been around for a while, including Superman, and the story finds our hero trying to navigate a world that doesn't seem to fully accept him while also trying to come to terms with an aspect of his Kryptonian heritage. And that last part really is the focal point of the story, as it seems less focused on how Superman is going to stop the master plan that Lex Luthor has cooked up this time, and more so on Superman's internal struggle and humanity. In a way, I found this movie to basically be one big metaphor for how some people today might view Superman as a character. As while some people don't really buy into how strong of a moral compass Superman has and might find him boring because of it, this movie makes a point to say that compass is precisely why we need a character like that, and that really resonated with me. Some of my favorite moments actually had less to do with the action, which was very entertaining by the way, and more to do with the quieter human conversations between characters. And a lot of it had to do with David Corenswet's performance, which manages to find a solid middle ground between lightheartedness and seriousness, which felt right in line with the character, and made me think this guy is Superman. The other two highlights here were definitely Rachel Brosnahan and Nicholas Hoult as Lois Lane and Lex Luthor, respectively. Brosnahan brings that fierce personality that makes Lois the reporter she is, while Hoult absolutely nails the ego-driven nature of Lex and damn near steals the show in some scenes. Now, there are a lot of things I like about this movie, but there are also a couple big things that really bring it down for me. First off, the actual plotting of this movie can be pretty uneven at times. There are a couple sequences here that ended up feeling like unnecessary side tangents that made the overall narrative feel pretty disjointed. I was still engaged with the story as a whole, but that aspect felt a little off to me. The other thing I was more mixed on was how this movie basically drops you in the middle of this established world. On one hand, I think it works well for Superman, as I imagine a lot of people have seen his origin 100 times, but on the other hand, with the number of side characters and bits of exposition thrown at you to try to explain some history you may or may not know, it can all feel a little overwhelming at times. Despite its narrative being pretty uneven, Superman still manages to effectively tell a story exploring the necessity of a character like this in today's world. It's full of heart, true to the character, and proves to be a promising start to this new DCU.